Energy, currently one of the most sought-after commodities in Pakistan. From a country with stable resources, electricity generation in the late 1990s in Pakistan, located in the South Asia region, to the current energy deficit and circular debt, the wheels of development cycle in Pakistan are in constant jeopardy. The development challenges faced by the country are numerous and can be tracked down to increasing energy deficiencies. To overcome energy deficiencies challenges and to expand access of power to households, Government of Pakistan and the World Bank Group launched Electricity Distribution and Transmission Improvement Project. This project aims to strengthen the capacity of the distribution and transmission networks and to meet increasing electricity demand in the selected areas of Islamabad, Lahore, Multan, Murree, Abbottabad and Hyderabad more efficiently. The project agreement was signed on 14 July 2008. Total of $256.2 million were funded by the bank to the Government of Pakistan. Considering the gigantic nature of facilitating and mitigating the energy crisis and race against time, the scheduled completion date for the project was set on 30 June 2012. However, this date has now been extended to February 28, 2014. Under the project, the implementing entities were identified as Islamabad Electric Supply Company, Lahore Electric Supply Company, Hyderabad Electric Supply Company, Multan Electric Power Company, National Transmission and Dispatch Company, Ministry of Water and Power. The mission and objective of the Edtip is indeed a noble one, which is to foster economic growth, facilitate social services through a crucial support infrastructure program to ensure a more efficient, constant supply of electricity. Though this task was a very tough call, considering the bottlenecks, delays and hiccups, timely and judicious priority investments prevailed. The investments made in transmission, distribution services, implemented through a zero-tolerance policy of sector governance, accountability and transparency have helped achieve desired results. The World Bank has fiduciary responsibility to ensure that the funds are spent effectively for the intended purpose. In this regard, the procurement team of the World Bank's South Asia region carried out an independent review of the procurement and contracting processes of the project. As per the bank's procurement guidelines, procurement and contracting for the bank's projects are to be carried out in accordance with the procedures as outlined in the loan or credit agreements or as authorized by the bank by way of formal waivers. A 20% sample size was randomly selected as sample size for this exercise. Independent procurement review verified procurement, contracting processes subject to prior review and performed independent review of the bank's procurement supervision and ensured compliance to the bank's general guiding principles of economy and efficiency, transparency, equal opportunity and maintenance of high-quality standards. Independent procurement review also entailed compliance assurance of the approved procurement plans, methodology for estimates at the time of preparation of procurement plans, verification of technical compliance, physical completion and price competitiveness aspect of each contract by giving recommendations for possible improvements wherever and if applicable. As per the project summary, 50% in terms of number of contracts and 25% in terms of value of contracts of the planned procurement activities for Edtip project have been completed. 27% in terms of both number of contracts and value of contracts. Either the work has been partially completed, at least one lot is completed, or contract has been awarded. Even though these statistics indicate considerable delays in procurement activities, the bank understands that 75% in terms of value of contracts are still not completed. However, the government is determined to complete the project within the stipulated time frame and completion date. As of June 2013, the amount of total contracts awarded remains $135.8 million, whereas the amount of contracts in procurement is $31.8 million. $3.2 million of funds are utilized under technical assistance component. A total of $102.59 million has been disbursed under the project. The overall project assessment, analysis and analysis of compliance of procurement contracts are based on the sample of 27 contracts that have been meticulously reviewed. Compliance status at various implementing partners was noted as only 7% of contracts were complied fully with the bank's procurement guidelines. 26% of contracts were completed with major deviations, which indicate implementing partners' procurement framework needs to be strengthened with respect to internal controls to ensure compliance with the bank's procurement guidelines. The overall project assessment and analysis report indicate the following factors. Factor: project efficiency. As of 25th March 2012, the overall status of the procurement activities compared to the Edtip procurement plans for all the implementing entities indicate that 50% in terms of number of contracts and 25% in terms of value of contracts of the planned procurement activities by implementing entities for Edtip project have been completed till the time of review as of 25th March 2012. Although the difference in percentage of completed contracts, about 50% and 25%, indicates that most of the contract completed till the date of independent procurement review comprise of small and medium values, and contracts for bigger values have been delayed, resulting in underachievement of project objectives. Why have such delays occurred? Delays have occurred mainly due to inefficient procurement process and capacity of implementing entities, management or lack of it to monitor contract completion in timely manner. Long, cumbersome internal approval from Board of Directors resulted in the long wait for delays in the contract award process, even if no objection from the bank team has been approved. Other contributing factors to delay the process includes deficiencies in bidding and procurement process, low responses from bidders, and non-competitive prices aggregating to force the implementing entities with no other option but to repeat multiple rounds of bidding. On an overall basis, 44% of rebidding carried out by the implementing entities management due to low response rate on the bids and non-responsive bids or requests by the bank for rebidding. It was observed that in the first year of the project in year 2008, the bank provided no objections for contracts amounting to $17.57 million. However, only contracts amounting to $3.39 million were able to be awarded by the implementing entities. In subsequent years, the project picked up momentum in awarding further contracts based on the no objection provided by the bank. During the review, it was observed that there have been considerable delays in execution of procurement transaction and, as highlighted in the pie chart, the initiation of the procurement process itself faced considerable delays. 24 out of the 27 contracts reviewed under the assignment have been one of the major reasons of the overall delay factors affecting timely implementation of the project on an overall basis. In the approved procurement plan, each procurement activity has been allocated timeline in days, which based on our review seems to be underestimated considering the scope of the work associated. This underestimation is further evident from the fact that planned timelines could be achieved only in 3 contracts out of the total 27 contracts reviewed. While analyzing average time taken for the advertisement announcement till the award of contract, it has noted that quality cost-based selection and international competitive bidding require the longest period with implementing entities' existing capacity. It has noted that national competitive bidding require more than 350 days, while national shopping requires more than 130 days, which is longer than average standard time. Factor: project economy. Price reasonableness through bids has been difficult to determine in instances where either only one or two bids were received for a lot. Such low response makes it all the more difficult to determine price reasonableness. Factor: reason for variance in estimated values of procurement plans. Major reasons for the variance in estimated values of procurement plans are change in the technical specification and scope of work at the time of initiation of the procurement transaction, increase or decrease in the quantities to be procured, fluctuation in the exchange rate, and change in the overall economic conditions having an indirect impact on market values. Factor: project transparency and equal opportunity. Surprisingly, out of 60 lots reviewed by the team, for 55%, 3 or more bids were received. This provided a very good indication of reasonable, healthy completion considering the nature of procurement and the intricacies involved, especially specific to the power sector in a developing economy like Pakistan. Summary of key findings. Factor: contract-specific findings. High-level analysis of type of issues at various stages of procurement and contract administration noted features some of the major findings and deviations highlighted during our review are: during the review of sample selected, almost 2/3 of the findings pertain to bid opening, evaluation and contract administration. This calls for ample improvement measures such as the procurement team engaged at all the implementing partners require capacity building through trainings on the bank's procurement guidelines and better procurement practices, documentation of standard operating procedures, and project management tools for timely completion of procurement and projects. Factor: specific and common findings. It has noted that the following key findings have an impact on overall EDTIP project efficiency, economy and transparency, and maintaining fair competition. Procurement activities costs are being estimated in US dollars instead of local currency, Pak rupees in this case. Such estimation in local currency causes inadequate monitoring of actual cost against estimated value due to change in the exchange rate between US dollar and local currency. There is a lack of participation of vendors in EDTIP procurement process. This is due to the practice of pre-qualification of vendors by distribution companies for procurement from their own funds. Technical evaluation of the bidders does not consider existing or remaining capacity of such bidder after taking into account other existing projects. Financial capacity of bidders is not being assessed thoroughly. This may enhance the risk of contractor and supplier performance failure, resulting in delay of the overall project. Liquidated damages charges are deducted by implementing partners in case of project delays or not meeting contractual requirements. However, due to lack of detailed guidelines on what should be the basis of calculation, refund policy in case of incorrect deduction, and inconsistent practices being followed by implementing partners, such deductions fail to serve as a strong deterrent in curbing contractual delays. Factor: findings from physical verifications. It was noted the following key findings which have a tremendous impact on the overall EDTIP efficiency, economy, transparency and fair competition. During the physical count, it was found a lack of controls over physical custody of assets acquired and the inventory management system at the warehouses. There were many instances whereby quantities as per inventory records did not match with the physical inventory available. It is worth mentioning here that the review did not cover 100% physical count because of circumstances, as the few items were checked on a random sample basis. Instances came to light whereby inventory procured for the bank's project were being used for some other donor project, as inventory items were not segregated project-wise. Whilst certain procured items for the bank's project remained idle in the warehouses with their warranty periods nearing expiry dates, other components of the projects, such as works, were not completed on time. Key recommendations. Based on the review, following key recommendations to ensure optimum efficiency and achievement of desired results in the times for project is completion on time. Factor. Efficiency with respect to procurement activities and project implementation can be improved by following, which would eventually assist in achieving Edtip project objectives. Procurement timelines must be planned realistically and objectively for each activity, depending on the nature of the item to be procured. In case of procurement of items which are unique in nature, with limited suppliers or with various complexities, enough or adequate time frame margins should be kept for possible delays. This would avoid delays and overruns at a later stage. The monitoring controls over procurement projects' timelines should be further strengthened. All concerned participatory implementing entities, implementing partners in the project should utilize monitoring tools such as exception reports and management information system to improve the monitoring of planned and contracted timelines. Contract clauses should have stringent penalty clauses and future implications on contractors for doing business with implementing entity IP in contravention to the rules and terms of contractual agreements signed. This, we believe, will act as a strong deterrent. Factor. Project and procurement economy can be improved by considering following key recommendations. Cost estimates working for various approved procurement activities should be formalized and approved by the technical staff of implementing partners. Further, such estimation should be reassessed and updated, keeping in consideration changes in market prices and other variable factors. When carrying out bid evaluation, any deviation from approved cost estimation should be assessed thoroughly. If actual contract value exceeds the estimated cost, appropriate and justified reason should be detailed, submitted and approved by a competent authority and also notified to the bank immediately. In case of competitive bidding, bid evaluation reports must have a section comparing the responsive bid prices with the prevailing market prices. This evaluation is currently carried out by implementing partners, management and consultants only when bidding process is not responsive. Factor. Maintaining procurement transparency, fair competition and compliance with the bank's procurement guidelines can be ensured by considering the following key recommendations. Detailed classroom training sessions of the implementing partner staff involved, including the consultants engaged by them, should be held regularly to help understand the bank's guidelines in detail. Standard operating procedures and manuals for the procurement process must be documented, specifying roles, responsibilities, internal controls, management information system, and reporting templates. This will ensure consistency of procurement activities and minimize deviations in timelines. As per current status of work, Implementing Partner Agency has just submitted the draft procurement manual, which may render the entire activity redundant and add no enhancement to the Edtip implementing partner's capacity, keeping in consideration the Edtip contract project completion end date that is approaching soon. To get the desired benefit from this activity and enhance the capacity, it was recommended that the bank team must follow up with the Pakistan Electric Power Company management to expedite the process with an enhanced team of advisors and consultants and complete all the contracted activities prior to close of the Edtip period. implementing partner's senior technical and procurement staff should thoroughly review the recommendations made by the procurement consultants in the bid evaluation report period to entering into contractual obligation or recommending the same to the bank for approval. Implementing partner's internal audit role in monitoring of procurement and project implementation activities should be considered. Also, there should be a protocol agreed with the bank whereby internal audit should independently report any significant finding such as indicators of fraud and corruption to the bank and implementing partners board and the audit committee. Assessment of supervision carried out by the bank team. Factor: independent procurement review team assessed the bank's team performance through review of correspondence between the implementing partners for the 27 contracts in our sample and review of 6 monthly bank's implementation status and result reports. In this respect, following specifics were considered: the time taken by the bank's team in responding to the implementing partners on their queries or requests for no objection letter to ensure it did not delay the process. It has noted only one instance. Another important matter which was raised by the implementing partners management and also discussed and confirmed with the task team leader of the bank for this project was that for almost a year there was non-productive output by some of the implementing partners and no procurement activities could be carried out due to revision of technical specification of certain items to be procured under Edtip project as per bank's team request. As per implementing partners management, this was a time-consuming exercise and technical design of items had to be revised in the bidding documents prepared by the implementing partners. This resulted as a showstopper for some of the large planned procurement activities. Concluding note: the review team suggests that there are proper protocols, standard operating procedures, policies, transparency, following of bank's procurement guidelines, ensuring fair competition, practicing zero tolerance, and thoroughly following documentation templates and timely reporting procedures will create just the right working ambience to help finish the project within the timeline. At the heart of it all, there needs to be a more proactive engagement of all stakeholders in project Edtip. Thank you.